Charlie said with a faint smile. It seems that Mr. Kevin is still very knowledgeable. He knows that drinking more oil in it can lubricate your esophagus and intestines, so that your 20 million ruby necklace will be in and out more comfortably. When everyone heard Charlie's words coming in and out freely, they couldn't help but laugh. When Delon heard this, his face suddenly became extremely ugly. This Charlie really didn't know good or bad, so he was so dying. After the incident, he must kill him. At this time, Isaac reminded impatiently, "Mr. Kevin, I can't wait. If you don't eat this, then I can send the video to Eastcliff Circle." When he heard this, Delon said quickly, "Isaac, don't worry, I'll eat it." After speaking, he gritted his teeth and opened the bottle of olive oil, took a deep breath, and drank half a bottle into his stomach. Afterwards, he poured some oil on the palm of his hand, rubbed the necklace shiny, and then closed his eyes and stuffed the necklace into his mouth. Everyone observed at him intently, and even some good people had already taken out their phones and filmed the whole process of swallowing his necklace. He looked very painful, but he still swallowed desperately. When he felt a little difficult to swallow, he poured the remaining half bottle of olive oil into his mouth. Then, as the olive oil lubricated and washed, the necklace was finally swallowed by him. Charlie was the first to applaud, and said with a smile, "Mr. Kevin really has a special talent, so I admire him very much." Delon's expression retched, so he hurriedly stood up and asked Father Song, "Grandpa Song, where is the bathroom?" At this time, Delon's first thought was to induce vomiting and spit out the necklace. If you can spit out the necklace, it's better than pulling it out, right? Boy Yu hurriedly said, "Mr. Kevin, please come with me, I will take you to the bathroom." Delon stood up immediately, followed with a step. When he arrived in the bathroom, Delon plucked his throat, forced a burst of nausea, and continued to induce vomiting. Several times, he could feel the necklace in his throat, but he couldn't vomit it alive or dead. Delon tried hard several times, and every time he held his face flushed, even black and purple. In the end, his throat and his esophagus were painful to death, and his whole person lost the strength to induce vomiting. In desperation, he was forced to give up. When he thought that he couldn't spit it out, he might have to pull it out, and Delon felt a flurry of hair all over his body. He even wondered if this thing would get stuck in his intestines? So he immediately took out his mobile phone and called his family doctor. As soon as he spoke, he asked the other person, "Doctor, I swallowed a string of ruby necklaces, and now I can't induce vomiting. If it enters the intestines, it won't kill me, right?" The other party asked immediately, "Third young master, how big is the ruby necklace?" Delon said, "The egg is a bit smaller. It is bigger than a quail egg." The other party asked again, "Is there anything sharp?" Delon thought for a while and said, "Not really." Convenience said, "In this case, you might as well observe it for a day to see if it can be excreted naturally." After speaking, the other party added, "It is best to buy some laxatives and take it, so that it can promote bowel movements and excrete faster." Delon asked him, "What if I can't excrete it?" The other party said, "If you still can't excrete within 24 hours, then you need to pay attention to it, because if you can't excrete it all the time, it is likely to cause intestinal obstruction. Intestinal obstruction is an acute disease, and it may be fatal." After speaking, the other party said, "Or third young master, come here now, and observe it here. Once you find any discomfort, you have to get operate in time. Otherwise, in case of intestinal obstruction, it will be really dangerous." When Delon heard that this thing could not be swallowed and pulled out, it might be fatal, and he was trembling with anger. "What the hell is this? Make a bet, don't tell me if I lose my face, and it's damn life-threatening." Thinking of this, Delon hated Charlie so much that he wanted to kill him immediately. But the biggest problem right now is the safety of his own life. In case something happens and he confesses his life to this trivial matter because of a bet, then he will lose out. So Delon immediately took out his mobile phone and called the captain of his private jet. "Captain, where are you now?" Delon only took his father's private plane this afternoon and rushed over from Eastcliff. Because he had planned to stay in Orus Hill for a few days, the captain planned to fly the plane back tonight. After all, this plane was used by Delon's father most of the time. What Delon thought was that if the plane had not returned to Eastcliff, he would quickly follow the plane back. Say nothing to let this string of ruby necklace in his stomach kill him.